Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 1, Since Then. Episode Summary. Toa, who was taken captive in the mansion of the Kanto's overseer, is told the story of the extermination of the demon Roothead that occurred more than 10 years ago from the tea master Munehisa. It was Inuyasha, Kagome, and the others who were involved in the extermination. The time is the Warring States period. Higurashi Toa, who is taken captive in the mansion of Kanto's overseer, is told the whole story of the extermination of Roothead that occurred over 10 years ago by a retainer of the overseer, Munehisa. The mound breaks due to the landslide, allowing the sealed demon to escape, causing many people to be attacked and having their heads taken. Inuyasha and Meifoku, who were asked by the villagers to get rid of Roothead, go to see the broken mound in search of clues. Inuyasha and Meifoku chasing Roothead, Kagome and Sango also participate in the battle, and Summaries also appears. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 2, The Three Princesses. Episode Summary. Toa, who time-traveled from the feudal era to the modern era, is raised by Kagome's family and grows up into a middle school girl who excels at martial arts. 10 years later, her younger twin sister Setsuna appears with Moroha and a demon. Toa and Setsuna are twin girls that were caught up in a forest fire and separated at a young age. Toa, who time-traveled from the feudal era to the modern era via the space-time tunnel of the Tree of Ages, is raised by Sota of Kagome Higurashi's family as his daughter and grows up into a middle school who excels in martial arts. On the other hand, Setsuna, who was left behind in the feudal era, makes a living as a demon slayer under Kohaku, who had become the head of the demon slayers. 10 years later, Setsuna, along with a bounty hunter girl Moroha and a demon, appear in the modern era. Yashahime, Episode 3, The Dream Butterfly. Episode Summary, translated by Leah. Kikujumonchi breaks under Mistress Three Eyes, who has taken in 2 of the rainbow pearls. However, Setsuna's crisis invokes Toa's demonic powers, creating a blade with her yoki and fights. Even though Mistress Three Eyes is exterminated with Setsuna's help, Toa becomes possessed by Hitokon. Seeing Toa in such a state, Setsuna does not acknowledge her as her older sister. Toa and Setsuna fight each other. Hitokon transfers from Toa to her younger sister Mei. Meanwhile, Moroha figures out that the reason why Setsuna does not have any memories of her youth is because her dreams were devoured by the Butterfly of Dreams. Although Toa's Kikujumonchi blade broke, it can still be used, almost like a lightsaber. Toa is able to create a blade with her yoki, also known as demonic energy. Mistress Three Eyes is the first Mistress Centipede's granddaughter. We find this out in the Yashahime keyword. After Mistress Three Eyes is defeated, Toa then becomes possessed by Hitokon. If you recognize this demon immediately in the preview like I did, Hitokon was in the final act, episode 1, which is the root demon that possesses people. Its name literally translates to flying head root. The Butterfly of Dreams is a curse. Setsuna's dreams were eaten and she can't sleep. Not sleeping can cause things like forgetfulness, memory loss, and even leading causes to Alzheimer's. This is why Setsuna lost her memories. This is based on Zhangzhou's butterfly dream from the Zhangzhou, which my wife did a video on, so go check it out. Subscribe to me for future updates on the series and translations. Yashahime, Episode 4, Door to the Past. Episode Summary, translated by Leah. To recover Setsuna's dreams, sleep, and memories, there is no other option but to capture the Butterfly of Dreams. Toa decides to return to the feudal era. Sota willingly sends off the decided Toa. Mei pleads to Toa, Setsuna, and Moroha that they all come back together. Toa promises Mei that they will come back for sure. Moroha opens a passageway that connects to the feudal era by tricking Roothead, who has obtained the power of the Tree of Ages. Within the passageway, the 3 of them reach the seat of the sacred tree and are confronted by the spirit of the Tree of Ages. The spirit borrows the form of the ancient priestess Kikyo. Yashahime Episode 5, Jokotsumaru of the Red Bone Palace. Episode summary translated by Leah, who is Ayoria on Tumblr. Jokotsumaru, a suspicious child who uses black magic to remove bones from humans and beasts, has been gathering bones in order to revive his demon father, Tokotsu. Toa and Satsuna, who have taken on the task of slaying him, head to the Red Bone Palace after meeting up with Muroha. According to Myoga, the flea demon who serves under Muroha, Tokotsu is one of the 4 demonic beasts that crossed over from the mainland. The one who governs them is the Beast King Kirinmaru. Toa and the others are surprised upon hearing that name. Meanwhile, Muroha confronts Jokotsumaru, who ambushes her as she is his father's enemy as the country-destroying Beniyasha. The voice actor character list includes Toa, Satsuna, Muroha, Kaede, Kohaku, Hisui, Jokotsumaru, which is the son, Takatsu, which is the father, Yotsume, Jongji, Necromancer, Myoga, Takechiyo. Explanation. Based on the preview, we will be seeing Myoga and Miroku in some way. It will be our first time seeing Takechiyo. It will also be our first time when we get to see when Muroha uses the pearl-infused lipstick and becomes Beniyasha. Maud Esther from our group will be explaining one of the names of the new characters we will be seeing.
The name Qiongqi comes from the Tao Tie, are one of the 4 evil creatures of the world. This information is found on Steemit. Qiongqi, one of the 4 ancient culprits in Chinese myths and legends, is mainly recorded in the Book of Mountains and Seas. According to the Book of Mountains and Seas, it is said that Qiongqi looks like a tiger, has a pair of wings, and likes to eat people, and will start eating from the head of a person. It's a ferocious beast. However, also, in the Shanghai Jing, one of the Shanghai Jing Xishan Sutra refers to the other image of the poor, which looks like a cow and has a hair of a hedgehog, which is very different from that described in the northern classics of the seas. But both are man-eating beasts, and there is no difference in this respect.
The appearance is like a tiger, the size is like a cow, has a pair of wings, likes to eat people, will start to eat people from the human head, is a ferocious alien beast. Poor like a cow with hedgehog hair, is very different from the one described in the Northern Classic of the Sea. There are also books that record poor and strange snow-white hair, with 2 pale golden dragon horns on their foreheads and a hawk's beak in their mouths, with a pair of black wings that like to eat human flesh, but the first 2 are more credible. However, all 3 are man-eating beasts, and there is no big difference in this respect. This episode takes ideas from the Inuyasha chapter 481 to 484 and episode 12 of the final act. Some of these scenes from the manga weren't used in the final act, which they will be taking inspiration from for Yashahime. In this case, Jokotsumaru is the son, while in the original series, the Bone Demon is the daughter. While the 2 Bone Demon fathers are different, such as the Bone Demon's father is a white Bone Demon with upper fangs, and Jokotsumaru's father Tokotsu is a red Bone Demon with lower fangs. The red bone also reminds me of Yura's red skull. In the original series, Sango killed the father and Inuyasha killed the daughter Bone Demon. In Yashahime, according to the episode preview, Jokotsumaru says, "Muroha, the demon killer, the one who murdered my father." Yashahime Episode 6, Neko Juwan of the Old Temple. Episode summary translated by Leah, who is Ayoria on Tumblr. An incident occurs where travelers go missing one after another. Toa and the others who have been entrusted with the task of resolving the incident head into the northern mountains, but along the way encounter a village that has been possessed by monster cats. Toa and company, who save the village by driving away the monster cats, chase away after them and reach an old temple. A single handsome monk emerges from the temple. Juwan looks just like Mei's absolute favorite idol, Julian. There is an old legend passed down within the temple. Around 100 years ago, a monk with strong spiritual power sealed a demon and placed its corpse underneath the floor of the temple. Explanation. In this episode, they will be taking inspiration from chapter 393 to 395 of the manga. In the manga, a nun that held a ceremonial service knowing of the legend, the sutra that was recited with compassion became what reawakened the cat demon that had made the temple and the body of the nun its own. They find out that the cat demon they were fighting outside the temple was used as a distraction, while the nun that was possessed by the cat demon was controlling the bones inside the temple as a way for them to eat Kagome. Inuyasha absorbs the cat demon from the nun, with the dragon scale Tessaiga saving her. Since this takes inspiration from the manga, I suggest you guys check out those chapters. Yashahime Episode 7, The Apple Encounter. Episode summary translated by Leah, who is Ayuria on Tumblr. Toa, who is searching for the butterfly of dreams, meets a mysterious young man who calls himself Riku. Claiming that he is a pirate that has come ashore, Toa generously offers Riku, who uses mysterious magic, an apple. Moved by how delicious it is, Riku leaves with Toa a sword that is said to be the real Kikujumonji. However, the sword in question was stolen from the family of Kanto's overseer. Toa is captured by the constable and taken to the mansion of Kanto's overseer, Okigiyatsu Hiragi. Meanwhile, Setsuna and Moroha search for Toa and attempt to enter the overseer's mansion, but are blocked by the demon Fubuki. Yashahime Episode 8, The Dream Opening Trap. Episode summary translated by Leah, who is Ayuria on Tumblr. Toa and others go after the whereabouts of Yotsume, the demon who escaped the mansion of Kanto's overseer. Yotsume escapes to the fortress of one of the evil perils, Kyuki. Kyuki lends Yotsume a mysterious orb, a rainbow pearl, and orders Yotsume to find the Yashahime's weaknesses. Toa, Moroha, and the young tanuki demon Takechiyo fall asleep from the dream-opening spell that Yotsume casts. However, the spell does not work on Setsuna, who can't fall asleep. Setsuna sees through Yotsume's plan and stirs up the dreams with Cyclone Burst. Moroha sees a dream of Takechiyo's past, Takechiyo sees a dream of Moroha's past, and Toa sees a dream that was stolen by Setsuna's butterfly. The voice actor list for Episode 8 is Toa, Setsuna, Moroha, Takechiyo, Yotsume, Kyuki, Jubei, Riku, Inuyasha, Kagome, and the Tree of Ages. Yashahime Episode 9, Meiouju's Meifoku. Episode summary translated by Leah, who is Ayuria on Tumblr. Moroha meets up with Toa and Setsuna after accepting the task of slaying a mysterious demon that captured the fortress of a military commander. The demon is Konton, one of the perils, who defeats Meiouju and steals his armored shell, which is said to be impenetrable. Toa and the others have a difficult battle against the speed spells and divine sword Konton wields as they assist Meifoku, who seeks revenge against Konton for his father. Toa attempts to stab Konton's armor and absorb the yoki. However, the plan does not work as the armor does not have yoki. As Moroha searches for a way to prevail, she orders Meifoku, "Be my shield." This episode takes inspiration from Inuyasha chapters 400 to 404. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 10, The Gold and Silver Rainbow Pearls. Episode summary, translated by Leah, who's Ayuria on Tumblr. Demons born from a single egg with two heads. The stronger one will devour the other head, that is the Calamity Clan. Demon brothers Kinka and Ginka have fought for many years but unable to decide the battle. They have left behind damage here and there from the aftermath of their battles. Toa and company have been asked to slay them, but Toa and Setsuna become possessed by the demon brothers, fighting each other, and have the gold and silver rainbow pearls in their eyes get stolen. Kinka and Ginka attempt to present the pearls to the head of the clan, Gyoka. But Gyoka attacks Ginka and attempts to devour the rainbow pearls. Explanation. In this episode, we will be seeing inspirations from manga chapters 416 to 422. Gyoka is actually based on the Nuwa from the Shanhai Jin, which is from Chinese mythology. Princess Half-Demon. Episode 11, Curse of the Man-Eating Swamp. Episode summary, translated by Ayuria from Tumblr. The man-eating swamp that devours humans, animals, and birds. Something lurks within the lake. Toa and Setsuna, who go to slay the demon, meet brother and sister, Hikomaru and Chiyo, who live near the swamp. Their parents were also victims to the swamp. Toa and the others who escort Chiyo and Hikomaru home are offered to stay the night by the siblings' grandmother. Toa and company hear from Hikomaru and the others that within the swamp lives a demon called Dokomizuchi. Meanwhile, Maroha, who has been worrying about the two who haven't returned, meets up with Toa and the others near the swamp and joins the demon extermination. The cast list is Toa, Setsuna, Moroha, Takechiyo, Kohaku, Hisui, Myoga, Chiyo, Hikomaru, Grandma, Dokomizuchi, Numa Watari. Explanation. This episode takes inspiration from the Inuyasha manga, chapters 396 to 399, chapters 423 to 425. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon. Episode 12, Night of the New Moon, Black-Haired Toa. Episode summary, translated by Ayuria from Tumblr. Formerly a sage, Neko-sen held a wicked heart and transformed into a demon. Konton, one of the four perils, orders Neko-sen to get rid of Toa and the other Yashahimes. Meanwhile, Kohaku, head of the demon slayers, requests for Toa and Setsuna to slay Neko-sen, who is killing the vegetation in the mountain. They meet up with Moroha, who has also been requested to slay the demon at Hageyama. There, they are to confront Neko-sen, who has prepared to ambush them. However, Toa is unable to create the blade of her demon sword and in a difficult battle strongly comes under the pressure of Neko-sen's Senki poison. Then her hair becomes black and she turns into a human. That's because the phenomena of half-demons losing their demonic powers on the new moon has occurred in Toa's body. Explanation. This episode takes inspirations from Inuyasha manga chapters 412 to 415. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon. Episode 13, The Delicious Feudal Monk. Episode summary, translated by Ayuria from Tumblr. A demon that devours virtuous monks and priests has appeared. Demon Slayer Hisui is requested to guard his father, who is a monk by Kohaku. Toa and Setsuna accompany him. Moroku, Hisui's father, once had a wind tunnel that could suck anything in his right hand. However, he was freed from the curse after destroying his old enemy, Naraku, and no longer possesses the wind tunnel. Miroku, who keenly felt his powerlessness after a battle with a certain demon, began a 1,000-day Buddhist training in order to obtain divine powers. 2 years is said to have passed since then. The man-eating demon, Totetsu, appears before Miroku after being guided by the Rainbow Pearl. The cast list for episode 13 is Toa, Setsuna, Moroha, Kohaku, Hisui, Miroku, Sango, Gyokuto, Totetsu, Takechio, Rokuta, Nanasuke, and Trainee Monk. Explanation. In Yashahime Episode 1, Miroku felt powerless without his wind tunnel in the battle against Roothead. Miroku's 1,000-day journey is the Kaihogyo, which is an ascetic practice performed by Buddhist monks. The practice involves walking a route on Mount Hiei, the longest of which takes 1,000 days to complete, all the while offering prayers at halls, shrines, and other sacred places. Welcome to 2021, and thank you for the continued support for our translator Ayuria. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 14, The Mastermind Who Burned the Forest. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. The beautiful girl Tamano is kidnapped and taken to a mansion in a snowy mountain by the evil mountain god Homura. Over time, he reveals his true jealous nature and kills servants and merchants that try to even talk to her, one after another. Tamano, who was confined in a zashikero, barely escapes and is saved by Riku after she collapses in the snowy mountain. Toa and the others head to the snowy mountain after being tasked with exterminating Homura. But Homura, who wields fire, sees sisters Toa and Setsuna and is surprised. You see, Homura was involved in the forest fire that separated the two. The cast listing for episode 14 is Toa, Setsuna, Moroha, Riku, Jubei, Takechio, Tamano, Homura. The last name on the list we are unsure about, as it could be read as Kokoro, Zero, or Kokotsu. Explanation. A note from our translator states, according to the dictionary, a zakashiro is a room for confining criminals and lunatics. Now that we are back on track, we didn't have an episode that aired last week due to New Year's. This episode will begin the new opening and ending. The opening song is Burn by News. The ending song is Conclusion by Ryokuro Shoku. January 9th, we will be having a live Q&A signing in our group with Morgan Berry herself, the English voice actor of Moroha, at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 15, Lunar Eclipse, The Sorrowful Parting of Fate. Episode summary, translated by Ayuria. Riku talks about what exactly happened to Toa, Setsuna, and Moroha's parents, Sesshomaru, Inuyasha, and Kagome. It began 18 years ago on the day the second-generation Hosenki came to deliver the Black Pearl to Inuyasha. 4 years later, sisters Toa and Setsuna were born. However, when Sesshomaru takes the twins away, he seals them within a barrier and hides them. That's because there was someone who was after the twins' life. The name of the one who despises half-demons is Zero, Kirin Maru's older sister. It was prophesied that the one who would defeat Kirin Maru was an existence that was neither human nor demon. The cast list for this episode is Inuyasha, Kagome, Sesshomaru, Jaken, Rin, Kirin Maru, Riku, Hosenki, Zero, Jioka, Sango, Kaede, Kinyu, Gyokuto, Rikichi, Toa, Setsuna, Homura. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 16, Moroha's Sword. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Moroha once had a teacher. Her name was Yawaragi. 3 years ago, under Yawaragi's orders, Moroha entered a poisoning crucible and gets into a life and death struggle with demons. With difficulty, Moroha makes it out alive, but the crucible was actually a demon gamble. In order for Yawaragi to obtain the funds to settle her secret that was a matter of life or death, she dipped her hand into gambling. Yawaragi went into debt with the owner of the corpse shop, Jubei, sold off Moroha and left somewhere. Now, 3 years later, Yawaragi appears before Moroha once again. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 17, The Two Perils Trap. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Konton, one of the four perils, draws a magic circle in sandy soil with the tip of his sword. He is putting together a plan to bury Towa and other Yashahimes. Riku offers to help. Meanwhile, Towa and the others set out to exterminate the man-eating demon Totetsu after hearing from Riku that he has appeared again. However, this was a trap. Lured by Totetsu, Towa and the others get lost in a dried-up valley and are captured in the Hachi-jin Tonko formation. The cast list for this episode is Towa, Setsuna, Moroha, Jubei, Takechiyo, Riku, Kirinmaru, Zero, Konton, Totetsu, and others. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 18, Sesshomaru and Kirinmaru. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Konton, who knows the relationship between the dream butterfly and Kirinmaru as well as the history of the Rainbow Pearls, summons a blue ogre to attack Towa and Setsuna. Meanwhile, Moroha struggles to battle Totetsu, who has devoured the Rainbow Pearl, but for some reason, the formation disappears. Regarding the Hachijin Tonko's illusion, Setsuna says to sniff out the flow of demonic energy. Towa sees the swirling demonic energy and cuts it. Konton, who receives the blow, has his head devoured by the blue ogre that Towa exchanged with and perishes. The formation vanishes and Totetsu escapes. Sensing the disadvantage, Towa and the others chase after him, but Kirinmaru appears before them. Sesshomaru also appears. The cast list for this episode is Towa, Setsuna, Moroha, Takechiyo, Riku, Kirinmaru, Konton, Totetsu, Sesshomaru, Jokin, Blue Ogre. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 19, Princess Aya's Beniyasha Slaying. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Hisui is summoned to the mansion of Kanto's overseer where Princess Aya offers him, "If you win the challenge, I will hire you." With the absence of Kohaku, the leader, Hisui accepts the challenge of his own accord and consults Setsuna. Setsuna decides to assist Hisui while keeping it a secret from Towa. The reason being that the opponent in the challenge is a bounty hunting group, including Moroha. On the day of the challenge, Moroha slips her tongue as she leaves. Towa becomes worried about Moroha and begins looking for Setsuna, but Setsuna, along with the Demon Slayers, are confronting the bounty hunting group at the challenge site. The cast list for this episode is Towa, Setsuna, Moroha, Takechiyo, Kohaku, Hisui, Rokuta, Nanasuke, Ogiyatsu Hiragi Danjo, Princess Aya, others. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 20, The Hidden Half-Demon Village. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Setsuna heads to a certain valley. Towa, who goes with her, is told that there is a village that Setsuna grew up in when she was young. It's a hidden village that shelters many half-demon children and is surrounded by a barrier put up by Shiori, a half-demon born from a bat demon and a human. Setsuna lived there for a time, and while later on she went to live in Elder Priestess Kaede's village. She has returned to the hidden village. However, one day, Gakagozen, who has learned that the half-demon who puts up the barrier loses her demonic powers on the night of a lunar eclipse, takes their subordinates and attacks the half-demon children with the intent of eating them. The cast list for this episode is Towa, Setsuna, Shiori, Futa, Raita, Kaede, Miroku, Hachiman, Jokin, Gakagozen, others. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 21, The Secret of the Rainbow Pearls. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. The time period is the Kamakura era. Zero, who mourned for the death of the great dog demon, the dog general, throws away her heart, tears, and demonic powers, and she makes a wish on the Shikon jewel.
The tears she shed turned into 7 rainbow pearls with strong demon powers embedded within them. The pirate Riku is secretly gathering the pearls for Zero. On the night of the new moon, Towa, who has lost her demonic powers, listens to Kaede as she tells her about her mother, Rin. After Rin gave birth to Towa and Setsuna, it said that she disappeared. Late that night, Towa, who spots the dream butterfly, reunites with Riku. There, one of the 4 perils, Totetsu, targets Towa in her new moon state and attacks. Riku tries to protect Towa, but... The cast list for this episode is Towa, Setsuna, Moroha, Riku, Kaede, Hisui, Kirinmaru, Zero, Konton, Kyuki, Totetsu, others. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 22, The Stolen Seal. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Zero, who detests the half-demon girls that threaten Kirinmaru's life, manipulates Towa and breaks the seal Meifoku placed on Setsuna. Unable to withstand her seething demonic blood, Setsuna goes on a rampage. Towa tries to absorb Setsuna's demonic energy, but to no avail. Moroha takes Setsuna on turning into the land-destroying Beniyasha, but struggles against Setsuna's strength in her transformed demonic state. Kinyu, who is Meifoku's daughter and possesses excellent Buddhist powers, is ordered to save Setsuna and rushes to the battlefield with her little brother, Hisui. Towa jumps into Setsuna's chest and attempts to stop her movements. The cast list for this episode is Towa Higurashi, Setsuna, Moroha, Zero, Kirinmaru, Miroku, Kinyu, Hisui, Takechiyo, Sesshomaru, Totosai, the Great Dog Demon, Sota Higurashi, Mei Higurashi, others. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 23, The 3 Princesses Counter-Attack. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Setsuna and Towa employ Moroha and set out to slay Zero. Riku blocks the 3 of them as they find Zero using the Azusa no Yumihari as a lead. Towa is surprised to learn that the master and sister that Riku is indebted to are Kirinmaru and Zero. At the same time, the battlefield is formerly the place where the great dog demon died. Hearing that all the rainbow pearls have gathered in that spot, an enraged Zero addresses herself as the owner of the pearls. With amplified demonic powers, she targets Towa. In an attempt to stop Zero, Setsuna slashes at her with the blood blade on her arm. The cast list for this episode is Towa Higurashi, Setsuna, Moroha, Sesshomaru, Jaken, Hisui, Jubei, Takechiyo, Gobodo, Sesshomaru's mother, Myoga, Kirinmaru, Zero, Riku, Sota Higurashi, Moe Higurashi, Mei Higurashi. Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon, Episode 24, What It Means to Be Sesshomaru's Daughter. Episode summary translated by Ayuria. Kirinmaru, who descends onto the battlefield, apologizes to Sesshomaru's demonic sword, Tenseiga, for his elder sister's rudeness and sends the 7 rainbow pearls over yonder. Zero, unable to forgive her younger brother's attitude, announces that she will cut ties with him and leaves. Riku stabs Kirinmaru in the stomach with a sword and runs after Zero. Sesshomaru also goes after Zero. At the same time, Totosai, the swordsmith who says he can create the peerless famous sword Yukari no Tachikiri, hurries to the battlefield with Sesshomaru's retainer Jaken, but... Towa and the others confront Kirinmaru, but with an overwhelming power before them, they will end up having to pay a huge price. The cast list for this episode is Towa Higurashi, Setsuna, Moroha, Sesshomaru, Jaken, Kirinmaru, Zero, Riku, Torosai,